Hi, and welcome to another live Q&A. And today I'm talking all about generosity and well-being. It's something that has been really a big part of my life for a long time. This idea of how does generosity impact us? We see how it impacts others, but how does it impact us? And where does our generosity come from? And how does it impact our purpose in this world? It's something that means a lot to me right now because I have a friend who's going through a really difficult time, and there are opportunities for people to help her. And so many people have stepped up to help. It's incredible. So it really got me thinking about this whole idea about how we live our lives and the impact that kindness and generosity has on us. And we see this in big and small ways around us all the time. It's easy to take it for granted. And it's also really easy for us to disregard it as not being very important. But I'm here to say that having a generosity part of your life, a part of your practice, a generosity practice, if you will, is really great for not only the people around you, but for yourself. And so I'm going to share just a couple of things that I've thought of that really make me think and make me feel grateful that there are people who love to share their generosity with others. We see it a lot here, even on Instagram and in other social media platforms where people are creating beautiful content for free, giving it away, helping others. And just for the sake of reaching out with a good message that is going to give people some sort of calm, peace, anything, especially during this time. And so the first thing I'll say about generosity and well-being is really first starting from the beginning. You know, what were you designed from? We may believe different things. I believe in God, a creator God who created the universe and the people in it. And I feel like my purpose is to fulfill the will of that creator. And one of those ways is to love my neighbor. So what does love look like, right? Love is not just mushy feelings. Love is so much attached to actions. And it can be kind words, it can be physical helping of people, it can be financial resources, it can be educating, it can be coaching, it can be cheering people on, holding space for people. There's so many ways that love can show up. I mean, honestly, love is a home-cooked meal that is made with a beautiful feeling of joy towards the people you're cooking for. And I recently listened to a very short message with Zach Bush, MD, talking about the power of hugs and all the beautiful impacts that hugs has on our health and well-being. And he said something that has really stuck with me, and that is, imagine starting each meal and greeting people to the table or to your home with a hug, and the impact that that has on your well-being and theirs. And then they get to sit down and enjoy a beautiful meal with you. That's really stuck with me. And of course, there's oxytocin and all of those scientific things that are connected to that. But I think when we realize that we are connected to something greater than us, that we were designed from something greater than us, it helps us expand our thinking about what's possible. Because we, in my opinion, we were created from limitless possibility. And there's limitless abundance in the world. Now, unfortunately, what we see taking place very often is lack, because certain people who are in power are holding on to the abundance and not releasing it to the people. Right? This is the challenge that we face. So it is up to us individually to share our generosity with each other in terms of all these different things I just said. And it starts with a kind word. It starts with a smile. You know, when you see someone, when you're out and about, asking someone how they're doing, being a listening ear, right? These things are free, but that's where generosity starts. It often starts with our time and our attention. And so when we focus on this limitless source that we were designed from, it helps us realize that we can be generous too, because that which made us is generous. And I find that just that thought releases so much stress for me. And when you're releasing the stress, a whole bunch of beautiful things happen in your body to remind you you're okay, you're safe, your body starts to heal itself when you have less stress to deal with in your body. And this can all start with just the idea of generosity. And I've not often thought about it in this way, but it just all came together for me this week. And I'll explain at the end of this live. This is not going to be a very long conversation, but I just really wanted to share where my heart was. The second thing that being generous and being of service gives you is it raises you above your own challenges. Now, this year in particular, I don't know one person who hasn't had a challenge. Some people may have had amazing years compared to others in terms of like profits, etc. You know, certain businesses are doing great. Other businesses have had to close their doors. It's been a challenging year. And of course, then there's the health impacts, right? We've seen a lot of different things happening with people's health this year. So it's been very, very difficult, but everyone has had some sort of challenge. And this year aside, there's always challenges going on. For people, whether you're having a good time now, someone in your midst may not be, and then the tables turn. Like life is that, it is that, I don't want to call it a roller coaster. Sometimes it feels like one, but really it is, it's a journey of a lot of ups and downs, right? Peaks and valleys, and then the in-between where things are just okay and nothing really big is happening. But we're all going to come to those times, and thank God for generosity. Because during those times where we need the extra support, the friend, the extra meal showing up at our doorstep, the money deposited into our account from an unknown source, the ideas, somebody to hold space for us as we work through things, all of us will come to that. And when we're in those times, it gives us so much hope. And when we're in a good time and we're helping someone else who's maybe going through a challenge, the fact that we get to help gives us, like we're doing it out of generosity towards them, but us exhibiting generosity, just that very act, it boosts your oxytocin levels. It helps your body feel good. And all of those things, oxytocin is, you should look it up. It's a really powerful chemical. It's a feel-good chemical that helps create and promote healing and rest in the body. We can all use lots more than that, right? It is a stress reliever. It's the opposite of stress. And so it helps rise us above, gives us an oxytocin, a dopamine hit as well. And then even watching others be generous, like even if it's something you've seen on a TV show, or if you've heard a story of a friend down the street or across the world who's had someone help them in an incredible way, even just witnessing that boosts our oxytocin levels, gives us a dopamine hit. It's like watching a sleeping cat or a little baby playing. It makes us feel good. It's just a natural response for most people anyway. And so being generous and being of service does that. Not only is it helping the other person, it is helping you. And certainly you don't go out to do that just so that you'll feel good, but it's a nice side benefit. It's like a side effect of generosity, is feeling good that you were able to use something of yours to help someone else. It's very innate that we are tribal people. We want to help each other, right? We want to be in community. And the third thing that being generous does is it creates a purpose. Because when things are just going along each day and just moving along, very often it can feel like life is monotonous, right? So when there is a purpose attached to your generosity, something that you are going to help someone else achieve, someone else acquire, it's like you're jumping onto that team, and it gives you a sense of purpose. And that sense of purpose is beautiful for your well-being as well, because it gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning, something to get excited about, something to feel hopeful about, something to use your innate gifts for. We're all different and we all have different capabilities and different things to bring to this world. And when we are operating in our gifts and helping others, we're like right in that zone that we were designed for. So when we operate in that purpose, it also connects us to others. Like right now, I'm alone. I'm alone in this space as I'm recording this. And yet either people are joining me live or maybe watching the recording afterwards. This is going out to other people, some food for thought. It may not totally resonate for some people, and other people, it might be just what they needed to hear today. So me having this thought about generosity, there was a purpose for it. And so sharing it helps me extend that purpose. And it feels really good to be able to do that. And the thing is, we don't need to be on social media to do this. We can be talking to our next door neighbor, right? And that generosity can show up in, like I said, a listening ear, a conversation. I posted a live yesterday, or a stories yesterday on Instagram, that I had been feeling really down because I was thinking about everything that had been happening in the world over the last year plus. And so many things that had been lost, so many lives that had been lost, so many people who'd been struggling, who continue to struggle. And a dear friend of mine is struggling right now. And it just overwhelmed me. And for moments, I was just crying and allowing those emotions and allowing them to flow through me. It just felt like the only cleansing thing I could do at that time. And I couldn't help it. It just happened. And it was the best thing that could happen because it helped me release and it helped me realize I could be grateful for caring. That there are people that I care about, that there are people who I need and people who need me, right? Our life is all wrapped up in this. We're all intertwined. We're all part of a community, a global community right now, but a community nonetheless. And right after I had been experiencing that, I was drying my tears and I heard some laughter next door, a little baby laughter, like 15-month-old laughter. And my next door neighbor's granddaughter was over on a little swing and having the time of her life. And I just went over and said hello. And because of the generosity of my friend who welcomed me into that space to be able to spend a few minutes and catch up and see this little child enjoying herself, it filled up my soul so much, right? So that generosity, sharing those moments, that's something that all of us can do. And it made an enormous impact for me. So that's just a small way of us being generous with our time, right? Generous with those moments. And as we connect to each other, we will find more opportunities to serve, more opportunities to use the generosity within ourselves to help other people. And in doing so, like I said, it feels good. And it reconnects us with our purpose. So right now, what's been happening, and I really wanted to record this because all these ideas were formulating as my friend is currently in India. She's from New York City. She's in India, and she has an autoimmune disorder and just a really challenging experience that she's in right now over there. And I won't go into all the details, but it's very life-threatening for her, and she has been struggling. And so her husband and her started a GoFundMe account to help raise funds to get her the medical equipment and the care that she needed so that she can safely get back to the US, be able to heal herself enough to be able to get home. And, it feels like it's going to be a long road. And so they started this account, and within a day, I was astounded at the generosity of the people who would come into that space and shared of their financial resources and beautiful, kind words and prayers. And I can only imagine so many other ways people are helping support their family. And so it just made me realize, people are generous. This time we're in can make us feel like maybe people are less human and there's so many agendas and who can you trust? But you know what? People are good. I really believe fundamentally most people have so much goodness within them. And the thing that we share is that we want our loved ones to be well, right? We want ourselves to be safe and happy. We want our loved ones to be safe and happy. And we're all connected because we all have these people in our lives, whether they're loved ones who are by bloodline or loved ones who are adopted into our lives, friends from across the globe. So that really made me want to share this with you today because it just really hit my heart. So I just want to say, lastly, thank you to those people who I reached out to personally who have been following along this journey with my friend, and your beautiful warm thoughts and prayers and other ways you've been generous, and also for any resources that you have donated. Like, I'm incredibly grateful. So I just wanted to say that. And for those of you who are just getting to know me or who don't know the story, it's your first time hearing it, I just want you to know that I'm grateful that you watched this. And if you have some extra prayers or warm thoughts that you could send to my friend Mo, I would really appreciate it. So for now, I'm going to leave it there and just leave you with this thought. Who in your life could use some generosity of spirit? Who is hurting around you that you could be there for? And I'm saying this at a time where, you know what, knowing the people who are connected in this community, I'm sure you've been doing lots of this. And as we let this be a guiding force for us each day, imagine the impact on our world, on humanity, on the spirit that we have to thrive together. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I wish you all the best this weekend. And I am super grateful for you. Have a lovely rest of your day.